bone. We got glass beads on the inside. This represents a Native American Apache markings on it, so they know who it is. I am Métis. I am mixed blood, and what I do is I dress for the people, and because I just don't practice just one tribe. You know, over the years I had great mentors, and they have taught me Cheyenne, Sioux, Lakota. I had the honor of dancing with the head national chief at the Sundance. I do Sundances also, and I had the opportunity to spend 2 weeks with him and learn his knowledge and everything.
What's your name?
Yeah. My name?
Yeah.
My name is Daniel White Wolf.
Okay.
I am a chief of the Métis Nation.
Okay. And what do you do for a living during the rest of the time you're not traveling?
I have a 40-acre farm, and it keeps me busy.
Okay. You gotta make a living.
You know,
No, I'm retired, but I'm more busier now than when I work. So I need to go back to work.
How old are you?
I loved to have a picture of you guys' faces when I walked up to you and I said, "Are these out Velcro?"
I had a young chief one time. Well, he's not a young chief. He was one of my mentors, and we always played tricks on each other. And someone asked us about our beadwork one day, and I said, "Yeah, sometimes I wish I could take my beadwork off and wash my regalia a better way." And he said, you know, he looked at me and he said, "Yeah, maybe we ought to put it on Velcro." And I just didn't say a word. Didn't say a word. I went, ha. So I went home and I beat it strip. Matter of fact, it was on that shirt what Sissy has on. And I beat it, a beautiful beadwork. And then I put it on leather and I put Velcro behind it. And I said, "Chief Red Wing, you know, I got the solution to the problem." He goes, "What's that?" And he goes, "Check this out. You like my beadwork?" He said, "Yeah." And I reached up and I ripped it off and handed it to him. He said, "You did it," you know. So we had a lot of fun doing that. You know?
If our ancestors had it, we probably used it.
And then he told the story. So yesterday when we're standing in line to dance, I walked up to him and grabbed hold of it and says, "Is this Velcro?"
Nakaya.
So now what's that one for?
This is one of my chokers that I made back in '82, and it's part of my regalia. A lot of times they had just one big choker. Well, I use 3 because it's more comfortable for me when I'm out there dancing.
Sure.
Nakaya.
Good to hear it.
Nakaya.
She's done this a few times, huh?
I'm the only one that can. Or allowed. Let me rephrase it.
You know,
I'm the only one that's allowed.
And this is what they look like before they get their regalia on. So this is the after, and this is the before.
It's too early.
Too early in the morning.
Too early.
We don't do this without at least having 4 or 5 cups of coffee in it.
This is only my first one.
I don't think we got that one time.
And was there a big party last
Yeah,
night?
no.
I'm afraid to ask.
No, it's died compared to years
okay,
ago.
because he's talking about all these beer bottles.
Yeah,
up
this
at
was
high.
years ago.
Okay,
Yeah, we're all older now.
What?
This one.
I understand. I'm 71. I'll tell you how old I am. I'm retired as well.
Older and slightly wiser, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know about the wiser. We're
I'm 70. I'm going to be 77 in November.
there. You go. We know
He
all.
is 67.
We know all about arthritis and all that other stuff, and I don't know how you guys still dance. Because
The young ones what makes us stay young.
is that what it is?
The little ones, when they come here, they're the most important people here. Because
Well,
they are a backbone of our country.
you want to pass on the traditions. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's real hard. We get the young ones when they little, but once they hit teenager stage, their nose starts sniffing in the wind. and they smell a young little lady, and next thing you know, we don't see them until they're 40, 50 years old, and they come to us and says, could you teach me? Didn't I try that once before?
The Aztecs here are part of our family. We love them dearly and we honor them.
I was surprised that
That
they
they-
make it this far here.
Oh yeah, and what?
Don't hit
Sculptures
them.
all good.
Don't hit them. Not on my video. No violence.
No violence. What the head dancer up there, he's 75 years old, so you need to go see how he moves. Because he keeps very
it's a different
active.
group than they normally have.
Yes.
Yeah, but this is the one. These is a part of our family that these
Because-
are the ones that I know. We know.
Yeah, because the ones they had were from Chicago originally.
Yeah. These are the only ones that I have met. But he's 75, and you talking about moving now. They're beautiful
See,
family. They're,
a lot of Apaches came from the Aztecs,
yeah.
and that's why we are so close. And last year, God, all we could do was hug each other and cry. You know?
Yeah.
And it's really cool because when
They dance
way
with
they
us
greet,
in the arena.
Okay.
you take their hand, you kiss their hand, and then you put it on your heart, and he does the same thing.
Very
So
cool.
everything comes from the heart.
Yeah.
You know? A lot of us up here, when we hug someone, we always try to hug heart to heart. And some of us got pacemakers, so we can't hug her. You know, I'm a robot. You know, I got more metal and rods and pins, you name it, I have it.
You enjoyed life.
Oh hell yeah!
Ain't your fault.
That's right. I enjoy it.
That's
You know,
why
I
I'm
believe it
messed
or not,
up.
I used to stand 6'4". I really did. But they told me I had to jump out of this airplane. I just don't know why.
A perfectly
But
good
I
one.
jumped out there, and I had all this weight on. Every time I hit the ground, I got a little shorter and shorter and shorter. So one of the guys asked me, he said, "Chief, are you going to jump out any more airplane?" I said, "No, I don't want to be that little midget going to say, the plane, the plane."
He's a recon Marine.
I was a C-130 pilot. They jumped out of my perfectly good airplane, yelling "airborne!" And I said,
I was
"Goodbye."
I was recon, and I did the same bloody thing.
Did you?
know?
Okay, well,
Yeah, but they probably have records of what they did compared
Yeah, well,
to what
I didn't
you
have.
and I did.
Yeah, no. You wasn't there. I wasn't, huh? How come I got this hole in my leg? Yeah.
we get up so high we got oxygen masks on, and these guys are jumping out of this airplane. We got oxygen masks on.
Well,
Unbelievable.
Halo.
Yep, Halo.
You know what I'm thinking about doing this time? I think if I can get my bandana under my bonnet, because yesterday I was sweating, the sweat was hitting my eyes, I couldn't
yeah,
see
you
what I
couldn't
was
see.
doing.
That's
Put
your
some
job.
ice
Don't
in
let
it.
them sweat today.
Give your brain freeze.
They did that to me one year. They brought me a thing and they wetted it down and they shook it and it was cold, man. And I'm out there dancing. I'm going, and they thought it was a new dance. Well, hell no, I was cold. You know? It's like one year we were doing a ceremony. There was Chief Terry Red Hawk, and Chief Red Wing, and myself. We were doing a pipe ceremony, and I had this my medicine bag on, and we all got down to the fire, and we were doing the ceremony and everything. And I had this big old owl claw, and it was part of my medicine bag. Well, I bent down. When I bent down, it got between my breechcloth, and it kind of held me. And we sit there doing the ceremony, and we had 3,500 people watching us doing this ceremony, right? And he said, "We got to get up." I went, He goes, "You got to get up." I went, I kept on trying to point, so I didn't want anybody to know I'm
Yeah,
snagged.
right.
You know, and Terry started laughing. He goes, "Well, what are you going to do?" I says, "I don't know." You know, and people, if they really understand, when some of us chiefs we get together and we do a certain thing, and people are watching, you'd be surprised what we talking about while we down on the ground. Like, "Oh, who's gonna get us up now?" You know. But that was an interesting morning when and it was daybreak coming up. The sun was, my grandfather was coming up, and I'm getting up slow, and I'm going, oh. Yeah, and of course Chief Red Wing finally had enough. I don't know what you would call it, but Terry kind of blocked this way, and Chief Reverend reached over and unplugged me. You know? I says, "Do I get a Purple Heart for this?"
Hey, I warn you, when you take a candle into that handicapped John and set it down next to the toilet, be careful. I'm over there. God, my arm is getting so damn hot. And then I needed a lot of toilet paper.
Oh, now, hey.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and then the next thing you know, oh boy!
I was wondering why it was glowing. I said, I better go check on him.
Do you all know the language at all?
Oh, yes.
Can you speak a little bit of it?
Sissy right here, she's the expert on the language.
Okay.
Sissy,
Yes, you are, Sissy.
Sissy speaks Algonquin.
This is
We
it,
speak
yeah.
mostly Algonquin up here.
Uh-huh.
Some of us speak different languages, you know. Especially when
But
we
we're not
don't
good
have
at
our
it 'cause-
coffee, we speak all kinds of different languages.
That's one thing the white people took away from us is our language and part of our heritage. So we are trying to get that back. Even
Sure.
the Cherokee, you know, and all
Sure.
that. They and in the schools, you know, bringing it back into the schools
Sure.
to
There's-
learn our languages
Yeah.
back.
There's
So
schools out west that
Yeah,
they,
Oklahoma do it.
no, what do you call it? In Canada, there are schools that they, that's all they preach, and then when they go home, they have to teach it, and English is a second language.
yes,
If you got a TV and you can get the station, it's a First Nation experience, and it does everything from the American Indians to the Canadian Indians. And don't panic if you get sick watching it, because they lay it right down the line, like this guy, Captain Jack. They tried catching for years, and finally he surrendered. You know, Canada was a little more lenient with
Yes.
the Indians,
Yeah.
where compared to
Yeah. to
over here, they'd have caught him. They hung him right now.
yeah,
Over there, that's like Crazy Horse and Sitting Bull. They don't know how they died, but they know they got shot. But they don't know if it was an accident or they were trying to escape or what happened.
That was a setup deal. What I was over the years, the research that I have done on that was a setup deal.
Yeah.
They had to take him out because you know the people was getting fed up and they was gonna go follow him.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
they
like
chased him
like
around.
Custer. Custer was a setup deal. They gave them all
Yep.
trapdoor guns, which are 45-70. I mean, you can shoot through 4 guys, but it's a lot of work to put the shells in. Where a rollback, you put the shells in your finger and you just go right down the line, you know. And they wanted to get rid of him because he had a big mouth. He didn't get along with the government and everything. So they sent him in there and they set him up because the one troop was supposed to come in and save his butt, and they were scratching their butts someplace.
I suppose you're all going to want royalties on this movie I'm making, huh?
Yep.
I
No,
bought,
no,
Well, this is interesting.
They sent me. I was living in Florida at the time, and Terry Redhawk says, "Man, he says you need to go up to the Great Lakes. You know, we got a big gathering up there, and I can't make it. So you're senior chief. You got to go up there and do all the Native American ceremonies by yourself." So I got up there, and Tom Hamilton, they were putting on the big rendezvous, you know, and black bears everywhere. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a really cool spot. I like this, you know. Well, this news reporter, every day he was on me like fly. And finally, you know, I turned around, and he says, "You're so interesting to be around. You do everything, and you laugh, and you tell your history, and you're having fun." I said, "Yeah, but you don't see between the lines sometimes. We need, get away from people, just unwind."
Right.
I'm sitting in my teepee, right? And I had my door open. Here he is right in front of me filming. So the next morning when he started coming out and filming me, I had my breechcloth on and I'm standing there, and when it came to my lodge looking, I had my butt right there, you know. So we pick on him a lot, you know, because, you know, this guy did a fantastic job. Yeah, he learned a lot about the Métis people, and we had so much fun with him. And I told him, I said, you make us nervous, because you stick this big hammer in our face, you know, and we don't know how to act. You know, he said, just be yourself. I said, oh, you're in trouble.
And
Yeah.
the artist photographer Windwalker collection took a picture of him, and it hung in the Smithsonian.
Did it? Yeah. You know, this reminds me, I'm Irish, and the Irish were pissed on by the British.
Right.
And I'm from Western Ireland, and we're doing the same thing. We're bringing back our language.
That's it.
And we're proud of it. And
That's it.
for a while, you know, you were embarrassed and you were put down, and we're finally, you know, trying to recreate, and that's what I admire about what you guys are
That's
doing.
what Grandfather Red Fox says. You know, I get mentored when I'm here by the elders, you
Sure
know.
you
Get
do.
you anything, Grandfather?
And Grandfather says,
Except a woman?
No.
It's
yeah,
blood
except the
memory.
woman.
Except a woman?
you may not be
Hey.
in Ireland, but your Ireland
Good thing he didn't
or
come around
whatever
at
blood
soul.
in you, it's in your soul. It's who you are.
It's who
See,
you are.
real Indians.
It's a
Oh, yeah, he
knowing.
probably
Because
turned
you
around
are
and went.
connected to your ancestors.
You're
and
connected to the ancestor,
We-
and it's a blood memory. Be proud of who you
Absolutely.
are. And we tell the children when they come, Wapiyapia tells them, be proud of who you
Absolutely.
are. Because that will make the country stronger when we're proud of who we are. And having the honor and respect for all people, not just one.
Absolutely.
Red, yellow, black, and white. We stand.
Something
and
that
is
makes
our color.
America great is we intermixed our bloods.
That's it. That's
and we
who
got
we
stronger
are.
because of it. And
I
that's
am
one
ca-
thing the Potawatomi, they intermarried with the Ottawa and the other tribes, and
Yes.
that made them stronger.
Yeah. I am Kansas, Quapaw, and Cherokee, and European.
You got a good mix of it there, huh?
And I'm European.
Pawnee, Cherokee, Blackfoot, and Irish.
Wow, you got a little Irish in you. All right, give me 5 on that one.
The chief back in the 50s and 60s, Clarence Godfrey, when he was young, his father told him to go to Oklahoma and find a wife.
Here's Mama coming.
Okay.
We give you 2 to 3 weeks. You come back with a wife. It goes on. 2 weeks, no clearance. 3 weeks, no clearance. 4 weeks, no. 6 weeks. Finally, he comes back and he says, father says, "Where's your wife?" He says, "No more Miami," because they mix together.
Yeah.
Is that her grandson?
Nope. It's the boy.
You, hey, beautiful, beautiful.
Mama.
Hey, beautiful. Come here.
I didn't want to walk through wet
Sit
ground.
down, Mama.
Can you
Come
sit
on.
down for a little bit?
Why?
I want to interview you.
Why?
I'm a historian,
Oh,
and I'm doing research on the Potawatomi, the Pokagon, but I want to know about the Miami removal in the 1840s. Do you know anything about that?
No, not to
Oh,
Miami.
okay.
You weren't here yet.
Everyone's saying Marcia knows everything. Talk to Marcia.
Not the Miamis I didn't. I haven't really studied onto them.
Okay.
That was my next subject this year.
Okay.
To get into it.
Are you a teacher?
Yeah, not a school teacher, no.
Okay.
But she's a teacher, all right.
Yeah,
Well,
she-
you have to be. Yeah. we're-
she's kind of down on herself. She's so talented. She's great with the children. She is Cherokee.
You're mainly Cherokee.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Blue Clan.
Okay.
Blue Clan.
Okay.
And
I
nobody
tell-
mess with her. Cast Sasquatch will get him.
That's it. Mama get him
You don't want to talk to that guy. He's the settler. He's the bad. He's the enemy. He's, you know.
He's a scared of her.
Yeah. Well, he's the
Well,
one
I'll
I
that.
tell
get a
you
little
what,
nervous around
If
guns.
you pull my scalp, you're going to have to work at it.
He
Yeah,
shot.
but we have other places.
He shot all those deer to feed the troops that killed you all. That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
told me
I
that
get a little
yesterday.
nervous around guns.
I bet you
Somebody a
do.
long time ago.
I understand.
I'm excellent with a bow and arrow.
Not bad. In fact, some of those targets down there yesterday, I probably could have hit better with a bow than I did with the gun.
That buddy of yours had a pretty good shot, huh?
Yep.
He's
yep.
good. I was
Yep.
impressed.
Nobody has. I want to get another alley rake, and nobody's got one.
A what?
An alley rake. It's a canoe gun that the Indians carried, or a blanket gun. I had one, and we traded it off because I didn't think I needed it anymore. I got good money for it, but I miss it. And what I do is I put it's a 20 gauge.
Yeah.
It's 62 caliber.
Okay.
And,
Wow, it's big.
and I cheat. And why I call it an alley rake is I put a wad in, a regular plastic wad, fill it with shot, then put a ball, then put 3 36 caliber balls that are hooked together with piano wire, and then I fire the sucker, and it'd take anything out. An alley rake.
So you live around here, Marcia?
I grew up in Winnemac,
Oh, okay.
and
To the west of here.
I'm now in Plymouth, but
Oh, okay. Cool. I'm from Pittsburgh. I retired here. I had 5 kids. I told them to go to Pitt, and they all went to Notre Dame. That's why I'm here. You
Did-
know? Now I'm studying history.
there's a trick on Notre Dame that no one knows.
What's that?
Potawatomis sold the land to the Notre Dame.
I know. Baden sold it to the Bishop of Vincennes.
There's a little clause in there. Native Americans, if you can prove it, go there free.
Oh, is that right? I'll
Yes.
bet you there is in there, and they just
There-
ignored that.
No, they don't ignore it. They know it, but
Okay.
I know several people that's going because they've got their
Oh, cool.
yeah, that's
But you gotta have
Utilized.
so much percent.
no. If you have your card or you can prove it,
Yeah.
Well, that's
you can
good.
go.
A lot of people, that's what I'm doing my research on, is just what happened. Soren, who founded Notre Dame, gets blamed a lot for what happened during the removal period. But he came in 42, and that was
Yeah.
after it. And it's this bishop that he worked for down here in Vincennes. His name was Hallandier. He was the bad guy. He tried to steal Leopold's Pokagon's land, and it went to the Supreme Court. And
Yeah.
that's my story, and I'm telling it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, knew that.
yeah. And it seems like the Pokagons were smart. Leopold was smart by taking them out of Bertrand on the line there in Indiana and taking them up the Silver Creek. The closer you got to the Grand River, the more protected you were. Michigan seemed to have a much more, they weren't so bent out of shape about the removal policy and kind of ignored it, like the Underground Railroad. But Indiana seems like they were the hard people, and this bishop was right in there with them. He wanted to get rid of his ministry to the Indians because it was a pain in the neck for him.
There's a picture on the internet, and it's a true picture of different tribes going to Washington D.C.
Yes, yes.
One
To
of my
tell
grand-
them,
Yeah, one
tell
of my,
them what the treaty said.
Well, they take their wise man and send them. Every tribe had one there. But you can't really see them because they're, took all at once, one group picture. My grandfather was one of them from the Potawatomis that went.
Oh. So your grandfather was a Potawatomi.
Yeah, the one side was.
Okay, cool.
There is Miami in there because I could tell by their garb.
Okay,
But you have to take a magnifying glass to that picture to look at it.
yeah,
But it's interesting because they were all fighting to not be removed
right,
or different subjects.
right.
Be able to hunt when they wanted to, fish where they wanted to, because they wanted to take all those rights away.
See, Menominee had the best reason for being allowed to stay here, but Pokagon got a lawyer from Michigan, and that was the difference. He had this guy Ransom, who became governor of Michigan, stand up to that general Hugh Carey that came up there and tried to throw them out of there. Down here in Menominee didn't know they needed a lawyer.
Have you looked into Governor Harrison? what all he did to get us out of here.
He did it. He was for you.
No.
Oh, not many people in Indiana have I found that were trying to help the Indians.
Yeah.
They were all wanting to make
But
a profit.
A
Send
lot of
them
the
out there.
white men did not. They wanted us to stay because we were helping them
Oh, they
learn
yeah.
stuff.
And they were helping, and you were farming with them and
Yes,
everything.
Yes.
You guys
We
were.
even took their English names. I know that for a fact
Wow,
I know that.
that's
yeah.
interesting.
because the census taker couldn't spell our names, so they would take their next door neighbor that was good to them and use their name, even the first name sometimes.
Yeah.
My husband's got my ex-husband, but there's a Mary Carpenter. She's Scottish. We found out not too far from her. The people that the Cherokee down here, their ancestors was a Mary Carpenter, and we looked, and they were real close where they were at. So we're sure that that's what happened back then.
Right.
So that's one proof that I've got.
A lot of people get the Cherokee Trail of Tears mixed up
Yeah, the
with
death.
the
Yeah.
Pokagon Trail of Death.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been working with Shirley Willard
Okay.
for the last few weeks. She knows all about the Menominee and how they were removed, and Father Pettit. She knows very little about the difference with Leopold up in Michigan.
I'm
So-
sorry. I once said.
You're from where?
Okay.
Well, thank you for talking to me this
Okay.
morning. I'm down here. I'm going to be putting together history modules for some of the Michigan, for the Pokagon tribe up in Dowagiac. And she said, go on down here and meet some Indians. So that's what I'm doing.
Your coffee cup is what these. When they do their pottery,
Yeah.
how they didn't. They used whetstones if they could find them, but
Oh, you're talking about the Pokagon?
any of them.
Oh, okay.
Pokagons would too.
Good.
They turn their pottery upside down. Any unglazed portion on the bottom of their
Yeah.
rim is the best knife sharpener you'll find.
I can see
That's
that.
how they would sharpen
Yeah.
their knives. That way they
Yeah.
wouldn't have to carry a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff.
I can understand that. That makes sense.
That's one thing that they.
Yeah. Well, you guys are getting ready to go to work, huh?
I got you something. Hold it. Grandma.